Chapter 2. The three tensions every life must hold. Once we recognize the materials of life, another pattern begins to appear. Life rarely pulls in only one direction. More often, it pulls in two directions at the same time. We want progress, but we also want peace. We want freedom, but we also want belonging. We want control, but we also know that much of life cannot be controlled. These tensions are not problems that can be solved once and for all. They are conditions that must be navigated throughout an entire life. Over time, three tensions appear again and again. Desire and sufficiency. Human beings are naturally oriented toward improvement. We imagine a better version of our circumstances and begin moving toward it. This impulse drives learning, creativity, and ambition. Without desire, very little would ever change. But desire also has a tendency to expand endlessly. Once one goal is reached, another quickly appears. A salary increase leads to a larger expectation. A recognition leads to comparison with someone who has more. What once seemed sufficient quietly becomes inadequate. The result can be a life spent chasing the horizon. The challenge, then, is not to eliminate desire entirely. Desire often points toward growth and possibility. The challenge is to balance desire with a sense of sufficiency, to know when striving is appropriate and when enough has already been reached. Freedom and responsibility. Another tension appears in the desire for freedom. Most people want the ability to choose their path, to determine how they spend their time, who they become, and what direction their lives will take. Freedom allows for creativity and self-expression. It makes life feel open rather than constrained. But a life built entirely around personal freedom can begin to feel strangely empty. Meaning often appears in commitments, relationships, responsibilities, and forms of contribution that bind us to others. Responsibilities limit freedom in certain ways, yet they also deepen a life. A person responsible for something important, a child, a partner, a shared project, often experiences life with greater seriousness and purpose. The challenge is not to choose freedom or responsibility, but to hold them together in a way that allows both to exist. Control and acceptance. A third tension emerges from our relationship with control. Human beings naturally try to shape their circumstances. We plan, organize, and make decisions in order to guide our lives toward better outcomes. This impulse is not misguided. Many aspects of life improve through thoughtful effort. Yet there are also limits to what can be controlled. Other people make their own choices. Events unfold in unpredictable ways. Health, luck, and circumstance influence outcomes beyond our plans. A life built on the assumption of total control often becomes fragile. When events move in unexpected directions, frustration and anxiety follow. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means recognizing that some parts of life can be shaped while others must simply be met with patience and resilience. These tensions, desire and sufficiency, freedom and responsibility, control and acceptance, appear in different forms throughout every life. Trying to eliminate them rarely works. Wisdom lies in learning how to hold them well. And holding them well requires something more than effort. It requires orientation, a way of deciding, again and again, how to move within these tensions without losing our balance. That orientation begins with a simple shift in how we think about the aim of a life. Because before we can navigate these tensions wisely, we must first decide what we are aiming for.